Hold on to your hats, you guys. Today we have a super exciting video. We're talking about MUDs, PIDs, and PUDs. Oh my! Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm Kelly Vaughan with the Vaughan team at Keller Williams McKinney. Thank you for joining us. Today we're talking about the super exciting and sexy topic of MUDs, PIDs, and PUDs. Now, if what I'm saying sounds like Greek to you, you're in good company. Don't worry about it. We'll explain it all. We're talking about some of the different additional taxes or fees that you could be subject to as a homeowner in the state of Texas. Now, first and foremost, what is a MUD? A MUD is a municipal utility district, and it is a separate taxing entity that is set up by a developer on a neighborhood to recoup the cost of the infrastructure for that neighborhood. So a MUD is approved by the state of Texas, and it is set up and governed by a board of directors that is elected on a regular basis. And it is done so that a developer of a neighborhood can recoup the cost that he or they put into developing the neighborhood. So a MUD is specifically used where it relates to water. So water, sewage, storm drains. MUDs are created so that the cost of putting all of that in, so all the drains and the water service and things, are passed on to homeowners until the debt is paid off. MUDs are generally created in areas outside of a city's jurisdiction. So if a developer has a neighborhood that sits outside of a city and the city in question cannot or will not choose to extend water services to the neighborhood, then the developer is going to create a MUD to pay for those items. The way MUDs are used is that if you've lived in and around the Houston area, you're probably very familiar with them. They're not as common in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but they are becoming increasingly more common, especially as areas outside of cities, so areas in a municipal ETJ, which is the extraterritorial jurisdiction area. As those areas start to be developed, MUDs are becoming a lot more common in the North Texas area. MUDs are taxing entities, so in addition to school district taxes and county taxes and those type of things, MUDs are usually in replacement of a city tax. So MUDs are billed on the tax is billed on an annual basis, and then a lot of times MUDs are also the water supplier for that town or that neighborhood. So in addition to paying the annual tax on for living in a MUD property, clients or homeowners also pay monthly for water service. Some examples in the local area of neighborhoods that are in MUD districts include Light Farms in Salina and Trinity Falls in McKinney. If you missed our video on Trinity Falls, it's linked right up here and also down in the description box. Take a look and see what that master plan community has in store for you. Next topic is PIDs. PIDs are planned improvement districts. Now, whereas MUDs are set up and governed by the state of Texas and an elected board of directors, PIDs are set up either within a city or within a county. And generally it's set up by neighborhoods who want additional services that the city has or county have agreed to provide, but the neighborhood needs to pay for. So for example, so it'll pay for specific improvements or maintenance, and it is controlled by the property owners within the PID. So for example, there's an area in Dallas, a neighborhood in Dallas, that has created a PID because they want 24-hour police presence in their neighborhood. And they have agreed to pay for it, and the city has agreed to provide it. So they created a PID as a way to pay for that additional service for that neighborhood. Unlike MUDs that are tax entities, a PID is not a tax entity. It is the fees are charged via special assessment. And the special assessment is based on either property value, so a number of cents per $100 in property value, or it's a flat fee based on property size. Here's an example of what PID funds can be used for. They can be used for irrigation, landscaping, water, sewer, security, parks, sidewalk improvements. The PID special assessment fees can be paid by property owners either as a lump sum or over time. So if you buy a home in a neighborhood that has a PID, at closing you will receive a bill that you can elect to pay in lump sum all at once, or you can pay out over time. So for example, let's say you're in a neighborhood and the PID is, the special assessment fee is $4,000. You can elect and choose to pay that $4,000 up front and you're done for the life of your ownership of the property, or you can pay it out over time. So you can take it and you can pay it out monthly over 20 years. An example of some neighborhoods in our area that have PIDs. One is Mustang Lakes in Salina, and another is Panther Creek Estates in Frisco. We talked about Panther Creek Estates in another video, so I'm going to link that up here and down in the description box for you as well. What do these things mean for you as a homeowner, either as a home seller or as a home buyer in a neighborhood? It's important to note that if you are looking to purchase a property that is in a MUD or in a PID, you must be notified of that prior to the execution of a contract, of the purchase contract. So in the state of Texas, there is a special addendum to the contract that identifies and notifies potential buyers of the existence of a MUD and the property's location within a MUD and within a PID. The PID is a new requirement as of September 1, 2021, but the notification requirement is the same. The expectation is the same. So if you are looking at buying a home in a neighborhood, be sure to ask your real estate professional if the neighborhood is in a MUD or if it's in a PID, and if it is, that you need to see those notifications. If they are not provided to you prior to the execution of the the you as a consumer and as a home buyer can terminate the contract. The MUD taxes, as I said, replace a city tax. So it's basically, sometimes it's a one-for-one swap, sometimes one is a better deal than the other, but it's important to note that you generally won't pay city taxes and MUD taxes because one is in lieu of the other. A PID assessment is going to be on top of your city tax. So for example, that neighborhood in Frisco, Panther Creek Estates, your tax bill, your annual tax bill, will have a tax from the city of Frisco, a tax from the school district, a tax from the county, and then you will pay your PID assessment on top of that. Because a PID is a neighborhood's choice and a homeowner's choice as to whether or not they create it and sustain it. It is not in lieu of, but it is in addition to your regular city taxes. The other one that I talked about in the intro was a PUD, and normally that does not really come into play for residential homeowners, but what it is it is a public use district. It's a way for cities and developers to develop a commercial area over and above the zoning of that particular area. So the perfect example of that in our area is the redevelopment of Collin Creek Mall. That area is zoned commercial, but what the developer is doing is he has created a public use district to sort of lay on top of the existing zoning laws that allow him to create not only a commercial development, but also a residential development without having to go through the process of rezoning the entire area. So it's just a workaround that is beneficial both to cities and to property owners, allowing them to get development in an area that is unique and different on top of existing zoning laws. So that is the alphabet soup that is MUDs, PIDs, and PUDs. It's a whole big thing. Like this video about MUDs, PIDs, and PUDs, consider checking out this video or this playlist on other things that you need to know about life in North Texas. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day. Be kind to each other, and we'll see you next time. Bye.